Assalamu alaikum dear viewers. I am here with the fourth and the last part of the poem The Brook. In this video we are going to read from stanza number 11, which is I slip, I slide, I gloom, I glance, among my skimming swallows I make the netted sunbeam dance against my sandy shallows. Here in this stanza the brook says that it does not follow a uniform way of running, rather it changes its pattern of running, as it says that I slip, I slide, I gloom, I glance. That means sometimes it slips, sometimes it slides, and sometimes it walks in the darkness, and sometimes it produces some sharp flashes of light. यानी ब्रूक कहती है यहाँ पे कि ये अपना जो चलने का या बहने का तरीका है वो चेंज करती रहती है. कभी कभी ये फिसलती है, कभी कभी करवटें लेती है, और कभी कभी अंधेरे में से गुजरती है, कभी कभी उसके अंदर से रोशनी की झलकें नज़र आती हैं. Among my skimming swallows. Among my skimming swallows. Swallow is a kind of bird, but here skimming swallows, here is a bird which dives into the brook or into the water for its prey. Here the prey is particularly the fish. And the brook says that sometimes these swallows dive into it to catch its prey. यानी ये swallows उसके अंदर डुबकी लगाती है और अपने शिकार को पकड़ते हैं. I make the netted sunbeam dance. Netted sunbeam is the pattern of a net formed when the sunlight passes through the trees and falls on the brook's surface. Here you can see the sun rays passing through the trees and falling here on the sandy shallows. Sandy shallows is the base of the brook, which is not too deep and has sand. यानी यहाँ पे कहती है ब्रुक के जो उसके साइड में जो ट्रीज होते हैं उनसे जब रोशनी क्रॉस करके उसके ऊपर पड़ती है, यानी जो या सैंडी शैलोज पे पड़ते हैं. सैंडी शैलोज होते हैं वो रेत के ढेर जो उसके साइड में जमा होते हैं उस पर पड़ती है, और पानी के हिलने से उस पे जो वो रोशनी पड़ती है वो भी हिलती है, और उसी को कहती है यहाँ पे ब्रूक दैट इट मेक्स दीज सनबीम्स डांस. Right? Now let's see the poetic devices used in this stanza. The first poetic device used in this stanza is ascendation. And ascendation is a kind of poetic device in which no conjunctions are used. Here you can see I slip, I slide, I gloom, I glance. There is only commas in between these words, and no conjunction like that is used in between these words. This is called a ascendation. And the second poetic device used in this stanza is alliteration. Alliteration, you know, the repetition of the same sounds, and here you can see such repetition here in the second line, that is skimming swallows. The sound s has been repeated twice. This is called a alliteration. Now let's move to the stanza number 12. I murmur under moon and stars in Brambly wilderness. I linger by my shingly bars. I loiter round my crosses. I murmur. Murmur means speak softly, but here murmur refers to the soft sound of the brook while it runs. I murmur under moon and stars. Moon and stars here refers to the night. When the brook walks in the night, it murmurs. It creates some soft sounds when it walks in the night, when it walks during the night. यानी जब ये रात के अंदर से चलती है तो ये बहुत धीमी आवाज करती हैं. In Brambly wilderness. Brambly here means wild growth of a thorny shrub. Brambly wilderness means wild growth of a thorny shrub, यानी कांटेदार पौधे. In Brambly wilderness यानी रात के दौरान मैं चलती हूँ कहाँ से, कांटेदार पौधों में से. गुजरती हूँ मैं. I linger by my shingly bars. Shingly bars are those heaps of small rounded pebbles which are formed in the brook. That means it lingers when it faces these heaps of small rounded stones. यानी उसके रास्ते में जब वो छोटे छोटे गोल पत्थरों के ढेर आ जाते हैं या रेत के ढेर आ जाते हैं तो उसका सामने करते वक्त ये कुछ वक्त लेती है, रुक जाती है, ठहर ठहर के चलती है. उसी को यहाँ पे कहती है I linger by my shingly bars. I loiter round my crosses. Loiter also refers to the time taken by it when it faces something in its way. Round my crosses. Cress here is the pungent leaved plant like a cabbage. यानी जब उसके रास्ते में ये प्लांट्स भी आ जाते हैं, कुछ पौधे भी आ जाते हैं, तो वहाँ पे भी ये थोड़ा सा टाइम लेती है चलने में. Now let's see the poetic devices used in the stanza 12. Here the first poetic device used in it is onomatopoeia. Onomatopoeia is the use of sound words. And here you can see murmur. Murmur is the sound, as murmur itself indicates the sound. This is the use of sound word here in this stanza. And the second poetic device used in this stanza is anaphora. Anaphora means when two or more than two sentences start with the same word. And here you can see I linger, I loiter. Both these sentences have started with the same word, that is I. This is called anaphora. Now let's move to the last and the 13th stanza of this poem. And out again I go and flow to join the brimming river, for man may come and man may go, but I go on forever. And out again I go and flow. That means the brook says, and out again, after passing all these hurdles, after crossing all these ways, I again start to move in a curving way. I again start meandering. Here you can see, here it walks in a zigzag way. This is called a meandering. That means it again starts to walk. It again starts to take curves and flows. Flows to what? Flows to join the brimming river, which is its destination. यानी जो उसकी मंजिल है, उसको उस तक पहुंचने के लिए ये फिर से कर्व्स लेना शुरू करती है, फिर से meandering करती है, फिर से बहना शुरू करती है. For men may come and men may go, but I go on forever. As the man comes when they take birth, and man dies, and man goes with their death. Man comes with their birth and men go with their death. But I go on forever. But the brook says that I go on forever. I am perennial, I am permanent, and I walk throughout my life. But the man is transient, man is temporary. They come with their birth and they go with their death. And these lines have been repeated in the stanza number 3, stanza number 6, and stanza number 9 and stanza number 13. This is called a refrain. When a line or more than one line are repeated again and again to emphasize on something, to lay stress on something, this is called a refrain or a repetition. Now let's see the poetic devices used in the last stanza. The first poetic device here is inversion. Inversion means when the subject comes after the object in order to lay emphasis, in order to lay stress on the subject. Here you can see, and out again I crow and follow. I here is the subject, which is the brook, and out again I crow and follow. The poet could have written it as I grow and flow and out again, but it says and out again, I grow and flow. This is called a inversion, when the subject comes after the object. And the second poetic device here is repetition. Repetition is firstly these lines, these three lines, and the second instance of repetition can be seen here in this line, man may, man may. These words have been repeated. And the alliteration. Alliteration is the repetition of the same sounds, and the same sounds can be seen here. Man may, that means m sound has been repeated, m and m, and again here m and m. This sound has been repeated again and again. This is called a alliteration. And the rhyme scheme is same, A B A B. The same rhyme scheme has been followed throughout the poem. Flow, go, river, ever. These are the rhyming words. This is the rhyme scheme of this poem. I hope you understood this poem very well. Thank you very much.